Joey launches the world's first fully integrated helmet with augmented reality. So essentially, what that would look like is a helmet with a visor that has a heads up display. Sounds absolutely futuristic and super cool for those who do ride motorcycles and maybe who don't. This might be a reason to get into riding motorcycles. I mean, hopefully not just a helmet, but this helmet is tech and it is advancing quickly, right? So we've seen helmets that promise blind spot detection or elimination and filters certain things like the air you breathe. But however, this one is the world's first fully integrated augmented reality helmet. So Shoei has partnered with France's Eyelights company and it's really, really sweet. So this here shows, an image of, a call coming in and how fast you're going, what time it is. It's really a heads up display. DJ, you've rode before. Do you think how beneficial do you think this is for you?
Man, I love it, man. I love the idea of this, and it almost makes me. I mean, I'm not gonna go out and get a bike right now, but if I did go back to riding, man, I would definitely try to get one of these helmets because one of the things was like previously, at least when I was riding, is just like you get a call from a family member or anything like that. I mean, like some of the helmets do have Bluetooth, of course, where you can answer, and that was some of the
Of
things
course,
before.
yeah.
But if you start off with like a basic helmet, you don't have any of those things, right? You got to stop. You might be at a light, trying to pull out your phone, see who's calling you, or watches, and you have a little bit more technology now, but all of that takes your focus kind of off of the road. The only thing I worry about is it's like, you are paying attention. And one thing with motorcycle riders, usually in accidents, it's not usually the motorcycle list that causes that because we got really good field of view and like, all these things. It's like other vehicles that's on the road. But I'm wondering if, how if this is going to distract, like how often that these things are available, if you can opt out from turning some of the
So
things on.
yeah.
But I do love the fact that, I mean, like you can, that it gives you those visuals and everything like that, even speed. Like it just, I think that the execution, at least from right now, looks really good. Weather, all that information, like I think that's pretty cool.
So, I mean, some of the things that they add, especially with distractions, it allows you to simply keep your eyes on the road. You're not gazing down at the dash or handlebar mounted phone. You kind of peek up slightly upward to glance at the info if you need, right? Real quick. However, some of the things that they did address was how certain heads-up displays can be unreadable in sunlight, but this company, Shui, and also iLights from the France company that they partner with, they taking care of that. So it's a projection that's carried out via Nano OLED display,
Hmm.
and everything remains readable in full HD resolution. So the helmet is called the GT Air 3 Smart. Like
Yeah,
I
because
said,
this is
you
the third generation now. Yeah, so now it's like
right.
that
So
full display.
you should get over 10 hours of battery life with it. All right. So
Nice.
and I mean, honestly, I think that's a win for helmets, a win for motorcyclists, and also just a win for tech, right? We're seeing more and more use cases of augmented reality in things like this, but also very, very beneficial for, they're very practical use cases, right?
Course, I'm sure you guys have heard by now, Gemini released their latest model, Gemini 3 Pro. You have both a fast and their thinking model. And I mean, it's just blown everything out of the water. On X, I think Sam Altman, definitely congratulated Google. Said, quote, something like, it looks like a good model, something along those lines. Elon Musk, said congrats as well on the release and everything like that. But I've used it a lot extensively. And it's really good. And also, Nano Banana 2, as I would like to call it, but I think they're calling it Nano Banana Pro. Use that as well. Just to stick on Gemini for a bit, like the one thing about Gemini going from 2.5 to 3, like of course it has all these coding capabilities and all these other things
That's
as
right.
well, and definitely more agentic, but it's also, to me, it kind of kept some of its personality. Like it still kind of seems like I'm talking to Gemini versus talking to Claude or any of the other major LLMs that are out there. So I think they really did a good job kind of with keeping that same temperature or warmness, of the model, basically. So even Notebook LM now can build you a slideshow, and I think they use some of that reasoning and thinking in the background. And going back to Nano Banana 2, or as I like to call it, Nano Banana Pro, now it's reasoning. So it's one of the very first reasoning image models. So basically, like when you give it a prompt and you want it to create some kind of image, it really thinks through, and apparently like it's really looking at what it's creating as it kind of drafts that to make sure it's like checking itself out and everything like that, which is really solid. And then with Gemini Pro, it can actually watch video. So one of the use cases that you can see is like if you're a coach of a youth sports team or something like that, you can have one of your athletes take a video of themselves, maybe swinging a golf club or throwing a football or playing basketball for a little bit. You can put that into Gemini 3 and it'll actually look at the entire video and give them feedback based off of like, different things. And it'll show timestamps and everything like that. So Apple seemed to be partnering with Google to use Gemini with Siri, like I guess on the back end of Siri, because, they just couldn't
That's
get their
right.
Apple
Oh,
intelligence off the
we know
ground.
Apple Intelligence was not it, bro. I'm
Yeah, I
sorry.
mean, and I know they tried, but they were just,
They
they're also a little
tried.
bit later.
We'll give them an A+ for effort. That's
I didn't
it.
get my Apple Car like I was looking for, like the Apple Car. For me, as long as Siri's confident, like, because my wife uses an Android, we used to, I usually keep both platforms around because I respect both mobile platforms. I don't hate on either one of them. But the whole point is just like, it is a lot easier for her to invoke Gemini and ask it some questions, and it really comes with some competent answers and like really helps out versus like, Siri is just not there yet. So for the iPhone users, I don't think maybe they won't even care. They just want something that'll answer, a question easy for them. So we'll see how it is. If y'all have any issues with that, definitely let us know in the chat.
What I'd be interested to see, all right, this is something that interests me. And this is kind of similar, but a little bit offside. This is more on the Google side. I want to
Yeah.
see Gemini get integrated or updated on the current Google Homes or
Oh yeah. That they
not
have that
Google
they've
Homes. What are they?
announced.
I know it's announced, but I need it.
Oh, me too.
I was
And
talking to my
it's
Google
not
the
the
other day,
same.
and it's
Yeah.
like I don't know what that means. I said,
It
Google,
always
I
says that.
know
It's like
you
I don't
know
know
what I'm saying.
exactly.
Because
I'm
in
like, where's
Gemini, if I
Gemini
access
at?
to Gemini,
Gemini's gonna
Gemini
give me an
knows.
answer. Yeah,
You know what I'm
yeah.
saying? I need the updates. Google,
Thought they were going to tie it into a hardware change. So I was thinking like maybe they're going to make everybody upgrade their hardware, like releasing new ones. But I believe when we were looking at it and what was
yeah,
reported is that it'll work on existing devices. So
it
you would
should.
think that they would just like
But
let it
you know
go,
what? There still might be a cutoff on those existing devices because I still have an older legacy Google Home.
like a Gen 1.
Yeah. Whereas,
Mm,
now they're all Nest Audios or Nest Homes or whatever.
I can't remember. I know they have V2 for sure because you're right.
Yeah,
They
so it's
did. They went from
V2s.
like the Google
So
Home to the Nest Home or
yeah,
whatever.
so
Yeah.
I have an original Google Home, which still works just fine. However, they may still have a cutoff on what you can update. I don't
Yeah.
know.
Yeah. Yeah, it'll be interesting. And the main mix on that, though, honestly, is because what Apple's trying to do, their focus, of course, is on privacy, which I appreciate. And so the differentiator, what they're saying is basically you're going to be able to use Gemini models to back, via Siri and all those things, but it'll be backed and ran on their private cloud.